The dragon, and subject of this report, is the accepted national symbol of the Chinese and many Asian peoples. The purpose here is not to criticize Oriental cultural festivals and beliefs, but perhaps unveil a truer understanding concerning the nature and purpose of the dragon. We'll do this by considering some ancient legends, studying some specific Chinese characters, and gain a little insight from the unique Lunar New Year celebration. In sharp contrast to Western ideas of a gruesome monster, the Oriental dragon, typified by the Chinese dragon, is claimed to be a good-natured and benign creature. The dragon is actually considered a helper to those that ask, not the least of which is the ability to make rain. For this and similar acts he has become the symbol of goodness, strength, fertility, and change. With such an elevated veneration, the dragon also became the symbol of the all-powerful Chinese emperor, eventually with the emperor claiming to be the very incarnation of the dragon. No matter if there is a prevailing unbelief in the dragon, he can just masquerade in another form. For the dragon's most remarkable characteristic is his ability to transform from one creature into another, small as a silkworm or filling the entire space between heaven and earth, making himself dark or light, even invisible if necessary. His ability to change and adapt is a fundamental technique for his survival. However, he did not always have the ability of instantaneous change. Originally just a hatchling from a gem-like egg several thousand years ago, the dragon evolved from a water snake, later acquiring a carp's head, scales, and tail, plus 4 short limbs and sharp claws, then growing a pair of horns in order to hear, since the ears of the dragon are deaf, next acquiring a swelling bladder in the head so as to rise into the air without wings. The final stage and rarest characteristic of the Oriental dragon is thought to be a set of wings to allow unlimited freedom in movement. The shifting and ambiguous nature to take on various disguises and manifestations has led to a complex and multi-level description of the dragon, but it is said that there are 9 distinct offshoots of the dragon. In many of these descriptions, the alleged harmless nature is brought into question, such as the dragon's fondness of danger, addiction to quarreling, and lust for slaughter. Yet all these variations of the dragon theme are held together with one all-encompassing Chinese character, Lung, dragon. But even this character image evolved along with the understanding of the dragon's nature and power. As with many Chinese characters, several significant characters combine into one character, often defining the subject's origin and revealing its nature. The Chinese scribes were well informed and used great ingenuity to create beautiful and complex storytelling Chinese characters. As we look at the individual parts of Lung, an astonishing image of the dragon will appear. The Chinese character for dragon, Lung, is constructed of 3 shortened or contracted characters. The top left is Tung, the bottom left is Rou, and on the right is Fei. Each of these further divides into other characters or can be explained by comparison and deduction. Tung, children of slavery, originally meant a grave crime committed by the parents for which their children were reduced to slavery. This has the connotation of original and perpetual enslavement of each generation. Tung, slavery, is constructed from jian, offense, fault, crime, and jung, heavy weight, or chung, to repeat by mistake. Qian, offense, fault, crime, is similar to xian, bitter, toilsome, referring to bitter bondage. However, qian, offense, fault, crime, is not to be confused with xing, lucky, a blessing claimed but not delivered by the dragon. Ro, dry meat, dry flesh, can be dissected as ru, to enter, nei, into the interior of run, man. And note also that the dry flesh is that of a dead person, which is only useful for one thing, food for the dragon. Therefore, ro, dry meat, and tung, slavery, combined together can be interpreted as meaning to enslave the inner person to the natural, material existence, that is dry flesh, while at the same time consuming the living essence, resulting in spiritual death. Lung, fleshy, is made up of contracted ro, dry meat, and lung, dragon, adding weight to the slavery to the flesh interpretation. Identical to contracted ro, dry meat, yu, moon, combined with tung, slavery, produces tung, dim, obscure, confused, and combined with lung, dragon, produces lung, rising moon, dim, obscure. In this case, the similarity of yu, moon, to ro, dry meat, is not just coincidental. Just as the moon is ruler of the night and darkness, so the dragon is ruler of spiritual ignorance, deception, and confusion. Whatever the form of coercion the dragon uses, fear of death, occult superstition, or material philosophy, spiritual slavery is the result. In addition, ro, dry meat, combined with jung, heavy weight, or chung, repeated mistake, gives the character jung, to swell, referring to the corrupt nature of the enslaving process, and also corresponding to the dragon's ability to rise without wings by way of gases from supposedly rotting flesh. This is like the head swelling with pride because of one's beauty, or after a victory in battle. Furthermore, hidden within the character set of chung, slavery, especially within jung, heavy weight, or chung, repeated mistake, is yo, cause, origin. Yo, cause, combined with ro, dry meat, produces jo, posterity, offspring, again verifying the claim of being the children of the dragon, but more precisely, children of the enslaver. Fei, fly, swift, wing, contracted gives an image of the serpentine and bearded form of the dragon. Swift referring to the ability to transform so as to deceive. Fei, fly, swift, wing, is a stylized picture of a crane in flight, which is considered a symbol of supernatural longevity. Also, fei, fly, swift, is not a combination character. However, a similarity to ruo, slender, fragile, weak, grow weak, can be deduced, for contracted fei, fly, swift, is nearly a mirror image of half of ruo, fragile, weak, grow weak. All this hints of the dragon's desire to rise to supreme honor and rule over all those weakened by enslavement to the corrupting lower nature of the flesh. Fei, fly, swift, similarity to ruo, fragile, weak, grow weak, also suggests that the dragon's deceptive power is fragile and weak, easily broken by the truth. In addition, lung, dragon, combined with ear, gives the meaning lung, deaf, referring to the degenerate nature of not listening to the cries of the enslaved or ignoring the truth that his deceitful activity contradicts. All the characters and meanings needed to form the conclusions stated herein are part of the lung dragon character. In summary, this creature described by the dragon character certainly depicts an enslaver who is empowered primarily through death and the fear of death. He seeks to rise in splendor and authority so as to dominate the entire world. His deception so great that his children deny that they are actually his slaves. It is obvious that this description is not the alleged friendly and magical dragon, but is a creature of sinister and malevolent essence. And considering the deceptive ability to change forms, it seems the characterization detailed here is his true guise. A similar description of a malignant being revealed in the Holy Bible more readily matches what has been learned about the revelation of the Oriental Dragon. Consider the following. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. He is filled with fury, because he knows that his time is short. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. Him who holds the power of death over those held in slavery by their fear of death, that is, the devil. If anyone turns a deaf ear to the law, even his prayers are detestable. While you were doing all these wicked things, declares the Lord, I spoke to you again and again, but you did not listen. I called you, but you did not answer. You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. From these Bible verses, it is clearly seen that the devil, and therefore the dragon, has only a limited time to rule over humankind through the fear of death, that he enslaves by the power of death, and he masquerades as goodness, but with a deaf ear to real goodness, all the while murdering his children through multiple lies and confusion. Only through the truth about the dragon and humankind's real condition can the spiritually enslaved be set free. Jesus said, you cannot be children of the devil and children of God. And Jesus said, I am the truth. And if you hold to my teachings, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The only alternative of slavery to the dragon is to choose to seek deliverance through the truth in the Bible. Then you will be free indeed.